Well, during this pandemic, one thing that's helped me get through is faith. And I know that applies to many of you out there watching this morning as well. I wanted to introduce our next guest to you. Speaking of that, Mr. George Shamblin, who's written this new book called The Relay. Welcome to you, George.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It says here, passing along your faith in the race to save Christianity from extinction.
Right.
So let's talk about that line and also about the book in general.
Okay, that's really funny that you asked about that subtitle. Subtitles are important, but there has to be an explanation. So Christianity can't go extinct in the big picture, but in any given area. Seriously, if we're not careful, the Christian faith can be lost in just one generation. So I really just specify a little more clearly that if we're not passing the baton, if you will, kind of passing my faith, you to your kids, me to my kids, and us to other people, it just takes one generation for people to say, what is the Christian faith all about? That they can forget very quickly.
Okay, so what inspired this book? I know for years you were in sales and medical sales, and then you said, enough of that, and you focused on faith. Tell me.
That's right. Well, I really felt a call to ministry, and I got some great advice from someone after I became a Christian when I was 22. He said, if you think God's called you to ministry, go in the business world for a number of years, and if you can't do anything else, that's a good indication maybe the Lord's called you to ministry. So I did pharmaceutical sales, medical sales for 5 years. I couldn't wait to get to seminary. So did that, got into ministry. But to answer your question about this book in particular, it's a very popular mantra. Christians say Christianity isn't a sprint, it's a what?
A relay.
Marathon. Well, they say marathon.
Oh, yes.
Meaning we don't just do it for a little bit, but over the course of time.
Okay.
That's a terrible analogy. And I've heard people say that for years, because if I run my individual race, sprint, marathon, and you do the same, well, that's great for us. But what about other people? Passing the faith off. So I would say,
like a relay.
Exactly. So I would say Christianity's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a long distance relay where we're continually passing the faith, passing the baton to succeeding generations.
So why do you think people at home need to pick up this book? What are just, I know you can't give it away, but just a nugget of information, if you could, to let people know what they can expect.
For certain. So if we were to walk around and interview people who are Christians and say, what is the one area of your life you'd like to grow in? A lot of people may say prayer or studying the Bible, but at the top of the list, people say, I want to talk about my faith. I want to share Christianity. I feel like I need to and I actually want to, but I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do it. I don't know when to do it. So this book really is evangelism. It's a way to tell people, this is why it's important to pass your faith to other people, and this is some principles for doing so, kind of some how-tos.
Well, you never know. You know, one thing, one sentence, one conversation can change the trajectory of somebody's life.
You never know who you're going to impact, who's receptive. Like you said, it's that one sentence, one time, that could make somebody say, wow, I need what other people have.
How do people, in closing, get this book, George?
Okay, so if they go to georgeshamblin.com, they can order it on there, and it's also on Amazon. We had a good problem. We sold out on Amazon, which is great, but for right now, georgeshamblin.com, and we'll be getting more in. So
thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
He's married with 4 children, so you can learn a little bit about faith and family and everything that takes to make it work.
Right,
we appreciate it.
Thank you.
A good reminder, again, it's called The Relay, georgeshamblin.com. I'm Nicole Allshouse with ABC 3340.